This is Arts Alive. I'm Lynda Philippi. My guests today are Lars and Tracey Ward, McMinnville residents who are here to talk about our second act. Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, let's just dive right in, and why don't you talk about our second act?
This will be a dive.
Yeah.
A dive right in, I mean.
Well, it's a reality-based television show for baby boomers or baby boomer babes, let's say.
I like it.
Yeah, and so there's really not been anything out there that really address what is happening to us at this time in our lives. I mean, we're vivacious, we're on the planet, we're exciting, and we're coming into a different time period. We're not the same parents that, or we're not the same people that we were in the 50s or the 60s when we were old at 45.
Right, it's true.
It's a whole new world. And what's really exciting about the show is my very dear BFF girlfriend, Silka Svatskov from 7th grade. We reconnected.
Cool.
And she was going through a divorce after 25 years, feeling very isolated. And after talking to some people, realized that she wasn't alone. And this is happening more and more often. But as well as menopause, as well as intimacy, as well as relationship things. She reconnected with the girlfriends, all of us from high school. We all got back together and realized we don't know anything more now than we did then.
And it's interesting about that thing, when they all got together, they met someplace in Southern California, and it was just like they were kids again in the tent in the backyard, yakking it up and having a good
grade
time.
And 12 years old. And
talked about the same things they do now, except now they don't have kids, or their kids are grown up or off to college. Maybe the husband's divorced or passed on, or maybe they just split up. There's so many issues that everybody shares.
Or they're trying to date, and what the heck is online dating? I mean, that is...
Well, what the heck is dating anymore?
I mean, right. I mean, you don't meet somebody across the room and share a donut or something.
And maybe it is the Pina Colada song.
Yeah, exactly.
That could happen.
Yeah, it sure could.
And so what's been fascinating, and I think just to give a little tell, I know we brought a little clip of the beginning, and my girlfriend Silka, who's the creator of the show.
Okay.
And I'd love to roll that.
Okay, let's roll it. Mr. Music.
What's fun about going back to high school, it brings into perspective what really was important to us when life was in front of us. Anything was possible. What did we want to be? What did we dream about? Well, very few people achieve that. When you enter this age, the menopausal era, you start to reevaluate. That's the show, our second act. We do have a second chance at being the person that we always wanted to be.
So, anyway, that's just a little idea of all of us coming together and realizing that it's time to talk. We didn't, like
Absolutely.
I said, yeah, no one gave us a manual back then. We don't have one now. We are all, some of us have been married since high school, 35 years, and these couples act like they did in high school. They didn't talk about relationships and intimacy then. They have no way to kind of broach that subject because they're so ingrained and engrossed in where they are. And so now it's like embarrassing.
It's a little hard to get out there and learn new things. You don't have your mother there to tell you how things are supposed to be anymore.
Like she ever did.
Well, yeah, and a lot of times you don't want to talk to your spouse or your husband about things. I mean, and I really don't want to talk about those things either sometimes.
Well, I know.
But I have learned.
Well, yeah, we've had a lot of a big learning curve on the show.
Am I getting red?
It's okay.
But what's really exciting about the show, and people say, well, how is this different from The View or whatever? Well, it's different because we're real friends. We're talking about real issues about real women across the country. We want to talk about what they want to hear. And we also have Man Talk, which is a part of our show.
And that's where I come in. And it came out of, you know, we've got the women's point of view. We've got all these women talking about what women think and how, what's going on in their lives, their opinions about men and dating and everything else, menopause as well. But what do men really think about these issues, and what do men think women think about these issues? So we tried to go into man on the street type places. We were at a bar, and we had some guys come in and talk to them and just ask them, there are some things that you don't want your kids to hear on these programs, but there are some important issues that guys need to talk about that they generally don't with women. Go ahead.
Well, you know, and I was going to say too, and I think for men, there's also sort of the added barrier of women do have the girlfriends. We had this conversation last night, but men, they can have friends they've had 40 years, and they've never had the kinds of conversations that we routinely have in elevators with total strangers.
And that's what we did. We broke down that barrier and spoke with some guys very on personal issues, and I think it worked out really well.
And I think that that's important because here we all get together and we all are saying, well, he thinks, or we did, or that, or this, or we're going to date, or what are they in? And we have no clue what the guys are thinking.
And what the guy usually says, well, all the ones that I've ever known have said to me is, why do you think that you know what I'm thinking? Why is it that you've decided that you can read my mind?
Right.
Yeah.
And I say, well, for lack of any better information, I just project.
Maybe no input.
Sure.
It's
No
like when you're
communication.
playing Barbie and Ken. Okay, I already know what Barbie's going to say, so you have to make something up
Yeah.
for Ken. And I think a lot of women, you know, do without that input from the man. We just sort of project our hopes and fears onto them, which isn't really fair.
It
No,
isn't, you
it's
know?
not. And,
It
and what those guys have said, they said one common thread: I'm simple. Just tell me what you like. Tell me what you need.
And it was really cute because we had one guy say to us, you know, tell me what to dress in when I'm going to meet you, because I don't want to be in jeans and then end up the restaurant is like high end, or I don't want to be dressed to the nines and you show up in flip-flops. They have the same anxieties.
Don't just tell me casual wear. They
They have no clue.
Your nice blue jeans,
yeah.
that really nice blazer that you
Sure.
wear, you know.
Because we want to look good for the women. I mean,
Isn't that cute?
less for me to think about.
It is.
Yeah.
It's cute. But we do have a clip of the man talk.
Oh, let's see that.
Yes.
yeah,
sure.
it's
do.
really, really fun.
Okay, wonderful.
It
So I'll
should
give
be
you a
coming.
great idea.
Hi everybody, my name is Lars Ward. I am with a new program called Our Second Act, a new program dedicated to women over 50 who are looking for answers in the second half of their life. We're in Laguna Beach, California at the White House, and we're going to go inside and find some men who would like to let women know what they are really thinking. Let's go inside. Now, you guys look like you might have some answers, and I want you to be completely frank with me about things. Have you guys ran into menopause problems, issues with your significant others?
Yes.
When you get intimate with a woman, do you have certain expectations?
We've all cut a wide swath through our youth of conquest or whatever, but now it's completely different.
You got to have that little intangible thing that brings you both together. And I think at our age, we're probably less likely to be, marking notch marks on the old bedpost like maybe when we were 20 or something. I don't know.
We'd be kidding ourselves if we didn't think sex was important.
It's not all about that completely anymore. I think it has more to do with, being with somebody that you would enjoy being with besides just, the sex part.
Kind of being with somebody on a lot of different levels aside from just a physical one.
If I had a recommendation for women our age,
First of all, if you don't ask us for depth, what are you thinking about? Chances are probably nothing.
guys are really pretty simple.
We're thinking, what's on TV?
We're a lot simpler than women give us credit for.
Not everything that we do is to lead to something else. So just let it go.
I've had situations where people thought, come up with these whole scenarios in their head about something I did, and
Don't overthink it.
it's like, well, no, I actually just went to the kitchen just to get a beer. That's all I did.
You know what was interesting? I know you have questions, but what
Okay.
was really neat about that, you saw the variety of different guys. in it. I
Absolutely.
mean, all different looks and walks of life. And it was neat to see that they really were just who they said they were. You know, they were being honest, they were being open about the questions we had for them, and some very funny answers and candid.
So now here's the thing. Obviously, you found a group of guys to come in and meet with you, but did they know what you were going to ask them?
No.
Not really.
Okay.
We wanted it all to be spontaneous and from their hearts, and maybe a little shocking. You know,
Good, okay, good.
You know, we just thought, you know, we'll
Yeah.
tell them a little bit. It's about women and stuff, but that's
Women and
stuff.
stuff.
And stuff. So they were really candid, and they gave us really great answers. And the thing about the show is that we've spent quite a bit of time about it. We've been in production about a year, putting this show together, this idea together. We went to the networks to sell the concept, and we were told that because we're over 50, we're not relevant anymore. That there was no interest in us because we're over 50. They wanted to skew 18 to 49, but you know, once you get to 50, you've fallen off the planet. So we kind of are doing a guerrilla tactics. We're doing a release of the show on YouTube channel. So you can go and watch 3-minute clips. These are cut way down of 9 or 10 or 12 different pieces on YouTube, our second act, and that's with the 2ND. And watch all of the YouTube and what we're putting out there and what our message we're trying to get across. Really fun, but as well, Lars and I are doing Blog Talk Radio.
And that is, well, media has changed so much. So a lot of people are doing podcasts, you know.
Right, of
we're
course.
still learning about this whole computer thing. But so we've got a radio show that we do once a week. And sometimes it's pre-recorded, sometimes it's live. And it's on Blog Talk Radio. It's our second act with Tracey and Lars. And we kind of cover the same types of topics, but with different people and more in a radio format.
Yeah, and it's an hour long. And so what we're trying to do is get the message out, really reach people. We want people to tell us, what do you want to hear about? And we're talking about not only menopause, but women going through cancer. We're talking about divorce after 50, surviving divorce after 50, which is becoming more prevalent and more common. We're talking about our second act jobs, finding purpose and passion. And,
Absolutely.
And love again, a relationship. Do you really want a relationship, or you want to just get online, or you just want to have some fun, or what?
And the show is geared towards women, but we also do cover male issues as well. We had one of my favorite guests we had, he's a blues Hall of Famer, Bobby Massano.
Okay.
And he was on, and he had just this past summer gone through a throw the clothes out the window, divorce,
Oh, okay.
And he was,
With his
feel
little-
sorry for the guy.
His little suitcase.
Little suitcase. and-
Toward the bus station.
Yeah, and he's still on tour and he's having a good time generally, but
He just released his first album, and he does the music for our intro and exit for the show.
Cool.
So
it's kind of cool. I got his phone number.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. And his autograph. Okay, you know what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it up, but we're
Okay.
going to come back with the second act of our second act. How about that?
sounds
like it.
great.
Fabulous.
So, yeah, Blog Talk Radio, our second act with Tracey and Lars. And please
Wrap it up.
share it. Share it, like it, comment on it. Tell us what you want to hear. We really want to get together with as many people as we can reach and make it something huge.
Perfect. We'll be back.